Hello, everyone. This is Sister Roland, and here I am in another podcast edition. And all I'm going to need is a few minutes, maybe a few long minutes, maybe not. I'm not sure. But we are going to be talking about the funeral of Jacklyn Smith, aka Miss Jackyoh or Jackyoh. So she was laid to rest yesterday, and then they had the funeral at Jerusalem Missionary, no, Jerusalem, Jackson Memorial Baptist Church, Jerusalem. Okay, so they had it in that, I believe it was in Atlanta. So the funeral was held in Atlanta, Georgia, because I'd stop it, go look it up. And it was held at Jackson Memorial Baptist Church yesterday, which was Saturday, June the 10th, 2023. And it was a very somber, sad moment because nobody expected this young lady to lose her life in the manner that she lost her life. Even though we know many women lose their lives because of this, some cosmetic procedures, even with regular surgeries, even giving birth. But you never expect it to have it happen to somebody that you know and love. And so we're gonna go over different things that was said in the at the funeral. If you're just looking for, just to hear, let me listen to the whole funeral, it's on Facebook. Go to, I told you the church name, so you can go and watch it because I'm gonna give my commentary on certain things, my commentary, and plus some encouraging words too. So if you're looking for just the funeral, it's on Facebook. You can actually go on Facebook and just watch the entire funeral uninterrupted. But in this video, in this podcast edition video, we are going to talk about different things that were said, different things that were done at the funeral. But before I start, John Whitfield, aka DCYoungFly, you did not give Nala a chance to speak. I'm not sure if y'all did it at the repast, but that you promised that you would let her speak. Keep your promise. That I had to say. So, without further ado, I think we are going to start with DCYoungFly's. Many people spoke, but DCYoungFly, we are going to start with his remarks, his remembrance of Jacklyn Smith. So we're going to start with that.
Yo, what's happening? They know how I get down. Oh, nah. I know you want to say something. Hold tight, baby. I love you. I'll let you speak in a minute. Hold tight. Oh, man. Y'all been following us and following me for a long time. You know one thing, man. I'm God-fearing. I'm super God-fearing. And before I speak, I pray that God grant me the energy to convey whatever message that I need to tell y'all so we can all have a total understanding, you know. Uh, you know, it was hard for me to get my thoughts together and my words and my emotions so I could speak at one time. But, as days went by, I got better because I was remembered in Genesis, the life of Joseph. One thing about my boy Joseph is he never complained. And if you read Genesis and if you're a man of the word, like you say, Father, we Hebrew. So I know you wanted me to throw that out there. Shalom, brother. If you read, I like that Genesis teach you first about Joseph before they break it off into any other story, because if you're paying attention, Joseph is getting hit constantly with obstacle and obstacle and obstacle and obstacle. And if you really read deeper and you understand, Joseph ain't never said, why me, God? And if you're a firm believer, then you know if God got, his hands on you, then you know we're going to be straight. And that's one thing I know, that we gonna be straight, Do we understand? No. No. But I don't lead by the flesh, I lead by the spirit. And sometimes life hits you with a curveball, but that's for anybody out here that's going through something, man. So you got to stick it through, man. I don't really care for the applause. I just want you to get the message. You got to stick it through no matter what you're going through in life, man. Because somebody always going through something worse than you. And guess what? We here today, but somebody going through burying 3-4 folks at the same time. But we got to understand what she did and her input in what she did on this earth, man. She made sure our kids was loving each other. They praying. I'm talking about at a young age. I don't even know what Nana be saying, but she praying. And I sit here and tell you, anybody, man, if you're going through with anybody, man, just problem is really small, man. The problem is really small, man. You always want to have a good relationship with any and everybody. Don't matter what's going on in life, just make sure the relationship is good. You dig what I'm saying? And if for those who know me, they know I got a great spirit. I be smiling and I give support and I try to uplift you in all type of ways, just because I feel good when other people feel good around me. So when I really be saying I be taking energy from people, I be dead serious. If you happy, I'm over there soaking up the energy. And if you bad, I'm going this way. But that's just how I am, because I know as a human being, I won't be able to deal with none of y'all. As a human being. But since I know God got me, I'm willing to put up with y'all. And if we got to be the example, if we got to be the example for everybody else, or for anybody that's going through something, I'm here to tell you, man, look, y'all was probably feeling for us, swearing that we didn't know what he was going to do, his mind gone crazy. Listen, man, I've been dealing with trauma all my life, man. It just so happened this is new to me because I never had a rib to leave me. But I'm here to tell you as a firm believer, man, God makes no mistakes. Don't question nothing. Don't even question what we going through. Because we're going to go through it and get through it, because my God is going to give us the strength to get through it. You dig what I'm saying? But most importantly, that this entire family needs is prayer. Pray for us, man. Send good energy our way. This ain't hard, but it sure ain't easy. Dig what I'm saying? Because it ain't. It ain't. And for those who see me, y'all know I pray a lot. Because life is real. And if I didn't pray a lot, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. But I'm sitting here strong, and chin up, chest out, that I'm straight. My kids, we good. Because like I said, we led by the spirit and not by the flesh. Are we hurt? Yes. We're human. We got emotions. My children know God is real. Ain't that right, baby? Don't you know that? Don't you know we God-fearing? Ain't mama with us? Ain't we gonna keep going? Know that. And I want everybody in here, if you don't take nothing from today, man, I don't care whatever you going through in life, listen, man, find your relationship with God. She had a beautiful soul. She was a great mother. I'm talking about super great mother. Super great mother. Super great mother. And we're going to continue that. We're going to continue that love. And if y'all ain't in that book, get in that book. Read Genesis. Understand the life of Joseph. Joseph going to teach you some things. Because it don't matter wherever Joseph laid his feet, God made him in charge. And Jack, you know I love you, girl. You know. You know. But you know, we here, baby. We here. Like you said, it looks, feel like a dream. Feel like a fairy tale, but you know, hey man, this ain't no fairy tale. And if Joseph didn't complain, I won't either. I love y'all, I appreciate y'all. And I seen every post, I seen every message, even though I ain't had the energy to text back, but look, that kept me up too. Just knowing that y'all knew I was God-fearing and y'all seen it early, so I say, so y'all be paying attention then. So you know it ain't me. And if you know I had God before, you think, what? What you think now? What? So when you see me, please understand, man. When you see me, please understand that it's not me. I don't have the energy or strength to deal with none of you. When you see me, when the smile is on my face and I'm kicking it and I'm happy, the higher power granted me the strength to continue to keep going. I love you, Jack. These kids are beautiful, man. God granted us strength to have 3. You know, I was trying to have 7 more. She gonna beat me up for that one. But I love you, girl. And I want our kids to understand that you had a beautiful soul. And you didn't leave us. You in heaven. Your spirit is with us. You still here. And we got an amazing support system. We got a beautiful support system. Because they came out. Love you. Everybody in here, keep God first. And always remember, listen, do not complain. You may have a valid reason to lose your mind, but that don't mean it's right. Because I got a valid reason to go buck wild, but that's not gonna get me and my children and my family nowhere. They gotta see the strength so it can be instilled in them. My kids got strength. That's why I'm able to stand today. My baby Nala looked at me and said, Daddy, what's wrong? I ain't even say nothing. She looked at me and said, don't worry. She don't even know what's going on. Nala came in and said, Nova came in and said, Daddy, I'm happy. Spirit moved in me and said, man, if my children happy, then I'm happy. And if they can do it, I can do it. And if Joseph can do it, we can do it. So keep God first, y'all. I love y'all.
So before John spoke, there was a part in, I think I'll put it on the screen, when they were closing the casket. You know, after the viewing, they were closing casket. I went to funerals, and usually that part is done by the staff of the funeral home. I didn't even know you could even do that as a family member. But that's probably something that he probably requested to do, and he was closing it. Usually people, you know, some people don't even want, you know, because the family has to sit in the front. But some people, because the shock is so great and the loss is so hurtful, they look away. They don't look exactly at the coffin or whatever. But for him to actually stand and close the casket, that shows the how much strength, that he gained, from the moment of silence that nobody heard from him, the moment of grieving. Because that's not a very easy thing. Even when you are doing that walk, when the family has to walk together, and that's not even easy. So to actually close that casket and to know it's closed, you're not going to be able to see the person, even though she's no longer here, but you're not able to see the person anymore. You're just going to have the memories in your head. So that showed how much strength that he had. Because I don't know if I could have ever did something like that. And not everybody could do something like that also. Now, we all know that DCYoungFly is a comedian, and he's always making jokes and stuff like that. People are used to seeing him that way. So you can tell it was very hard for him not to get into his comedic character, even though there were areas that he did slip it in, but you can tell that was very hard trying to, because he wanted to be serious so he can convey the message that he wanted to convey to the people that was there and the people that's going to hear on the internet. It was very hard for him to, tone down or put aside that comedic side to him. So he started his message mentioning Joseph, the life of Joseph, and how Joseph never complained, and Joseph never asked why him or whatever. Sometimes I think we tend to want to show that, when we go into tough times, we cannot ask God certain questions, because he did say, don't never question God, because that's what, people have said forever. Don't question God. God knows best and stuff like that. But if there's something you don't understand, if there's something you're not at peace with, who are you supposed to question? Because at the end of the day, you are human. You're not God. You don't understand God's ways, because God's ways are not our ways. So certain things that God may do, certain things that may happen, whether God is a part of it or you think God is not a part of it, whatever it may be, you have questions. Now, if you don't go to God and ask him those questions, who are you going to ask? Because if you go inside yourself and you're asking yourself all these questions, I wonder why God didn't intervene. I wonder why these other ladies that have done this procedure, they are not good mothers. They are not good friends. They're not good people, and they didn't die. Why did? Because you're going to ask yourself. He's going to ask himself this question, whether he does it, whether when his kids grow older, somebody's going to ask that question. Why? Because they believe in God. So why, God? You give life, you take it away. Even though Job was the one that said that. Because it's certain stuff that happened, God didn't want it to be taken away from you. So Job said God gives and takes away. God never said that. That's what Job said. And then even though we don't know that Joseph complained or whatever, we don't know that he never questioned God, but we did know he started to lose faith. Because in Genesis 40:14, when he gave the butler a favorable interpretation of his dream, he said, please don't forget me. Don't forget me and get me out of this house. So he did start to lose faith, though, and he started to lose he may have started to lose faith because he started to question why God showed him all these great dreams, the stars was bowing down to him, and then these she's bowed down to him. So these he knew that he was going to do great and mighty things, but then ended up in jail. Ended up being, first he was sold, and then he ended up in jail because of an accusation that was not true. So he started to lose faith. And sometimes we tend to lose faith when we have a lot of questions that are not answered. So we can question. You don't do it. It's a way you go about doing. Oh Lord, how you gonna? And some people may do it that way because of their frustration and their anger. But you should have questions for God. You should go to God with your questions when something happens you don't understand, when something happens that hurts you, when something happens that disappoints you. God wants us, because that's a burden. He says, cast all of your burdens on him, for he cares for you. The fact that he cares for you, he wants you. All these questions, you may not be able to articulate it, but you should go to God with your questions. So Joseph did start to lose faith. He may not have complained, but we don't even know, because we didn't, it's just, we weren't, the Bible doesn't follow him each and every day of his life. But something in him, something caused him to ask that butler, don't forget me. Get me out of this house. And he did mention that, he have went through different traumas. He have experienced different traumas in his life. I'm not sure how he have dealt with those traumas, but probably one of them is prayer, because he is a praying. I've seen different videos of him praying, But then he also mentioned that, that was the first time he has lost a rib. Now, if you read the Bible, that was concerning Adam and Eve, when God took a rib out of Adam and he made Eve, he made woman. I know people would always say that, my wife is my rib, not the woman. I guess because he made woman, say just because this person is your woman, that you are together, that means that's your rib. No, that's actually talking about that your wife, because when God presented Eve to Adam, then he said that this is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. And that's how the marriage was done back in Eden. That's how it was done. So that was his wife. I'm not sure if he said that because, maybe he has a regret, the fact that because what I know, they were unmarried, unless they were secretly married or whatever, but they were not married. So unless he has a regret, and we always gonna have regret when we lose people. When we lose people, we always will have some type of regret. So I'm not sure if he had a regret that he never made Jacklyn his wife. So now this is why he's using this term, his rib, because I saw many people. That's where they started his speech with, but his speech was way longer than that. And then he also reassured everybody that they are going to be okay, because they believe in God, and they know God got them. And he went to his daughter, and he also said, ain't we gonna be okay? Ain't God is with us? So anybody who's gonna pray for this family, always keep them in prayer, especially because if you have ever lost a loved one, when it first happened, and then you have people coming in and out, people checking up on you and whatever, and then when when everything is done, the person is buried, repast is over and stuff like that. It may come that day, it may come a few days later, a few months, and then, because I believe that's like the acceptance stage, because there are stages of grief. And then it's a time you're gonna come and you realize that you won't ever see this person again on this earth. Depending on what you believe in, you won't ever see this person again on this earth. Because even when God comes back, it's not going to be this earth, it's going to be a new earth. But you realize, wow, I won't ever kiss this person again. This person won't ever make their favorite dish for me again. This person won't ever be able to give me advice again. You realize some people never come to this time because they still can't accept it. They won't. Some people can accept it. Some people won't accept it. So they never reach to that acceptance stage. When you do reach that acceptance stage and you realize, wow, I won't ever see this person again on this earth. But if they went to heaven, you're going to see them again. That's our hope. Because that's why Jesus, one of the many reasons, yes, he died for our sins, but he died to give us hope. Because the family, even before I had to cut in to say this part, the family asked for this verse to be read.
Genesis 37, verses 24, 34, and 35 from the Message version. The Word of God reads, Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his sons many days. All his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave. So his father wept for him. This is the word of God for the people of God in your hearing. Be blessed.
So that scripture reading was when Jacob found out that Joseph was no longer here. He had passed away, with the story that they told him, a wild animal had gotten him and only his tunic that he made was left. And the brothers thinking that, wow, now finally our father will love us because Joseph is no more. Joseph is no longer here to take all of our dad's attention. And that did not happen. That didn't happen. He was like, I will mourn for my son until I join him. For I shall go down, Eugene, for I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning. So when it's finally time for him to go in the grave, he will still be mourning. That was back then when Jesus, because we can't say that, because I've seen people say, I'll mourn you till I join you. That's if you are not a Christian, you don't believe in Christ, you don't believe the work of the cross. You shouldn't be saying stuff like that. Because you know that Jesus, yes, he went on the cross, took our sin. But those 3 days when he was in the tomb, he went down to hell to get the victory from death and Hades. That's what he did. So Jacob didn't have the hope we have today. Jacob then didn't have that. That's why he said that. Because there was no hope. His son is gone. He had nothing left. There was no hope ever that he would ever see his son again. But because of Jesus, what Jesus did, it says in 1 Corinthians 15 and 58, O death, where is your sting? O Hades, where's your victory? You have no victory for people who died in Christ. There is no sting from death, because though back then death stinged. It stinged them. Hell, there was a victory when death came, because there was no hope of going to heaven. There was no hope of you meeting your family members again. Remember, when you go to heaven, everybody who died in Christ, you will meet them again. They will greet you when you're coming in. So you're going to see them again. You're going to be with them again. And then I think we have so villainized death. If you die in Christ, no matter how you die, because I've heard people say, oh, if you're a Christian, you're supposed to die in your sleep and stuff like that. You can't be dying. You're not supposed to get shot or murdered. It's not how you die. It's when you die. Do you have Christ when you die? Is Christ in your life? That's what's important. Because immediately you close your eyes on this earth, you're with the Father. That's when you start living. we just here on earth. Yes, we're living on this earth, but true life, where he says there's no sorrow, there's no pain, there's no sickness, there's no death, is joy eternal. That's when you start living. Death has no sting for people who die in Christ. It hurts because you're going to miss the person. It's sad because they're not going to be here anymore. There's a void, but you have hope. That when you do want to feel like hopeless and oh my goodness, then you remember, I'm going to see this person again. They went. They already there waiting for me. If they went to heaven, I have to work to strive so I can see them again. Death has no sting for us anymore because of the work of the cross. Because of that, nevertheless, that's why every day, thank God for Jesus. Had Jesus not say, nevertheless, where would we be? Because he said, nevertheless, death has no sting for us. It hurts because we're sad we're going to miss the person because they are no longer here. But how it used to sting, how it stung, how the death when he thought that his son was gone. When Jacob thought that his son was gone, it stung. He was sad, he mourned, and it stung. Because he knew he would never ever see his son again. But because of Jesus who died on the cross for us, we have hope. When we do meet with this person again in heaven, we will see them again. I remember this lady in my church. I remember the last time I saw her. Usually when we see each other, she would say hi or whatever. And she'll talk to me, ask me for how the girls are doing. But I think it was like a week. I think it was like a week or 2 weeks before she died. And I encountered her at the thrift store, the Salvation Army. And then she just gave me this big hug. She usually doesn't hug me. We usually don't hug each other. We just say hi and stuff like that. She gave me this big hug and she just held on to me. Because sometimes, if you can tell certain things. And then she was asking me how the girl's doing, and she's like, wow, your girl's gonna be, you have, I'm so proud of you and stuff like that, how the girls have grown, because she knew the girls when they were younger. That always amazes people when they know your kids when they were small, and then how big my girls got. And then she was encouraged me and stuff like that. And then 2 weeks later, she had passed away suddenly. So this was like shock. She had finished cook Thanksgiving dinner. Finished cook Thanksgiving dinner, and that would be her last Thanksgiving. And then she left. But the pastor of her church, had gotten sick, and then she had a visit. She had a visit to heaven. And then she said when she went to the gates, who did she see? She see the same lady that passed away. And she was so happy. It's like, oh my goodness. Like no care in the world. Oh my goodness. They would call her mother. Mother, come, let me show you the house that God has. Let me show you this big. You have a big house. You gotta see it. Everybody down here crying for her, missing her because she left suddenly, and she has no care in the world. She didn't even ask like, oh, how my husband doing? No. She's like, you need to come see your house. You got a big house. You have a big house in here. The sister couldn't go through because it wasn't time for her to go through yet. But that is when you start living. If you have died in Christ, that's when you start living. That's when if you have, yes, we have bouts of happiness and joy and stuff like that, but true happiness and true joy, die in Christ. So back to what I was saying before I had to, insert that part with death having no sting when you are a Christian and you die in Christ. When he did ask for prayer for his kids, keep them in prayer, and God got them. They believe in God. They know that God will carry them through this. And with the kids, they already have that foundation. The mom raised them praying. Mom raised them to know that there is a God, and there's a God that they could pray to and they could rely on. So they already have that foundation. So now this thing has happened where their mother is no longer here. The older one, maybe she may understand what's going on, may fully or may not fully, I'm not sure. But the younger kids, they don't understand yet. So what's going to carry them through when they do get to understand what's going on, and that's going to make them still hold on to God, still pray to God and say no, that God got them, instead of being mad at God, because being mad at God, extremely mad at God, because I've known kids who have that foundation, that biblical foundation, pray to God, and then they lose a parent, and then they run away from God. They become extremely mad at God, because people always tell you, oh, you can't question God. When stuff happens, you just supposed to accept it, know that God's will is some things you need to understand. Lord, why did this happen? Why did this happen? I don't understand. Why did you take my mom? You may or may not get the answer right away. It depends. But it is something that's important to you. I would keep on praying. I would supplicate. I would pray to God until God answers me, because it depends on because God answers people different ways, different time frames. We're not sure, but something like that, I would keep on praying. Lord, I don't understand. And sometimes, if you're praying for certain stuff like that, you pray and then you wait. You wait. You have times that you are in silence because you're waiting on an answer. You can't just keep on talking, and then you're waiting for an answer. So you position yourself because you're waiting for an answer from God. So yes, they have that biblical foundation. And then when they come to understand, so that it doesn't turn that, oh my goodness, I don't like God. Why would God take my mother and stuff like that? That's when they're going to really need the prayer. So now it's new. Everybody's praying for the kids now. But those kids are going to need prayer when the oldest gets in her teens, and the other kids begin to understand what happened. That's when they really going to need the prayer, to know that yes, I could still count on the God that my mother showed me, the God that my mother talked to me about, that my mom showed me how to pray to. I could still rely on him. Even though this happened, not what they told me, I can rely on this God. Why did the Bible say the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob? Abraham, who was Isaac's father, and who was Jacob's great grandfather, and Jacob was Isaac's son. Why did the Bible say that? Because they had their own experience with God. They experienced God in their own way. Abraham experienced God in his way. He was able to tell his son Isaac, and what he told his son Isaac experienced God by himself. And then he passed on. This is what God did for your granddaddy. Why did I say great granddad? That was Jacob's granddad. Why did I say great granddad? So this is what God did for your great granddad Abraham. This is what he did for me, your father. And then with that, Jacob was still able to rely on God. That's why the Bible says the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Because he had the foundation. Because giving our kids, yes, teaching them how to pray, raising them in the ways of the Lord, that's good. But you should also reiterate, you need to have your own experience with God. Because with your own experience with God, when the storms of life come, when problems come, when things come, that people tell you stuff that makes you doubt everything that you knew, you can stand and say, nope, my God is faithful. My God is protector. My God is healer, because I was this and I prayed to God and this what he did to me. I needed a way to be made, and God made a way. You can tell, not what your mama say, not say, oh, my mom, my God did this for my mom. Big mama was gonna get kicked out, and then Big mama prayed, and then God showed Big Mama. That's what God did for Big Mama. What did God do for you? That's what's gonna hold on to you. So these kids gonna need their own experience with God, so that when the enemy comes in their ear and say, "Oh, you still praying to that God? God allow the devil to take your mom. How you praying to this God?" And they say, "No." Yes, this is what happens. We may not know why that happened yet, but this is how God showed up for me. This is how God showed he was faithful to me. So definitely those kids. And then not only the kids, other people in the family that, may understand why, God, why did you take Jacklyn? Why? There are other women that are no good. They don't take care of their kids. They're not good kids. They're not good people. People don't like them. They still around. They still doing all this stuff. Why are they still here? Why you took Jacklyn? And then we don't even know where God could have intervened and maybe had put so we just don't know. Could have intervened and said that don't go, don't do it. Or she may have felt inkling that she shouldn't do it, she should have waited. We don't know, and we probably won't ever know. But when you have your own experience with God, when you have experienced God in your own way, that is going to carry you through. That is good. That's what you could hold on and know that, yes, I don't understand why it's happened. Yes, I'm upset that this happened, but I still believe in God. I could still hold on. I could still rely on God. I can still count on God. I still know that God has got me, because it's easy to say God got you. But do you believe God got you? Do you know that you know that you know? Even though circumstances showing you that it's not, but you know that you know God got you. Do you know that? And also what I noted that when they were closing the casket, while they were closing the casket, he was saying certain stuff to her. And even in his speech, he took the time and said that, I love you, Jackie, and stuff like that. Oh, these kids are beautiful and stuff like that. He may have used to always tell her that or not, but that's just a reminder to us. Don't wait until the person is in the ground to tell them the things that you need to say to them, because then it's too late. They can't hear that. And even if they were to hear it, because before the person leaves and depart, but they can't respond to that. If they like flowers, give them the flowers right now, as much flowers as you can get for them. Tell them how you love them. Tell them how you appreciate them. Tell them how you're proud of them now. Because when that person is in the casket, not even in the casket, when that person dies, it's over. It's over. And then even when you get to heaven, you're not gonna say, oh my goodness, I can't believe, I miss you, I love you, stuff like that, because there's no sorrow up there. There's no sadness. It's just happy. It's just happiness. So let's love on the people now. Love on the people. Some people, you have to love them far away. I'm going to love you far away, because we can't be together, but I'm going to love you far away. I love you, but we just can't be together. And it was so beautiful, the fact that the way they raised their kids, he was feeling a little down, and then the kids came in and encouraged him. And if you have, depending on how you raise your kids, if you have ever gone through certain stuff and God uses your children to encourage you, that's a beautiful thing. That's a very beautiful thing. Especially when you raise your kids in the ways of the Lord, and then you feeling down, you're worried or something like that, and God uses your child or your children to give you a word, and that gives you the motivation, the strength to carry on another day. But before I finish, I have to address the father, y'all. Okay? because and people are so idolatrous in this time, like just like when as soon as a person died, oh, you can't say nothing bad about them. They were angels and stuff like that. That's idolatry. That is idolatry, because the father, her father was, they gave him an opportunity to talk. Usually you see how how DCYoungFly gave encouragement. He talked. He put some stuff in there, say with Hebrews. But the father went into explanation about um, the. First of all, he said that he didn't know in the Bible, but then referenced stuff in the Bible. That was already a thing. That was the time for him to, talk about his daughter. He started doing that, but then he veered off, because he started talking about the daughter, how each of them would, the other kids would say which one is his favorite and which one is favorite. He say, all of his kids was his favorite. Jacklyn was his first favorite because she was his first daughter. And then he just veered off in another direction. Started talking about, to me, it seemed like he was promoting interracial relationships, because he said that, oh, if Adam was a black man, because we know that the dirt, or because he made him from dirt, and the dirt is brown. We don't know what color dirt was in Eden, because Eden is not compared. You cannot compare Eden to earth. It's not the same. And our soil is a certain color because of certain reasons, because of the pH level, because certain elements that's in our soil. We don't know the color of the soil that was in Eden. We don't know. And we won't ever know until we probably go to heaven, because that way was blocked. He put a cherubim on the different sides to block anybody who's trying to get in there. So we can't say the soil is brown. We know the soil is brown because that's what we see. We don't know how it was in Eden. And then he said that, oh, Eve was taken for the rib is pink, so that means Eve was a white woman. So that's why we have all these people. So if usually when a black man and a white woman come together, they have mixed kids. So if that's your theory, is, or unless God is racist, he's not going to change the way he was doing stuff. If their theory is correct, then everybody on earth should have been mixed. That was not, I guess he had the platform, a lot of people going to be watching. He just wanted to put that out there. Well, how is that important? Because he said that he didn't know anything in the Bible, but he had to put it out there that Adam was a black man and Eve was a white woman. They come together. That's why all these people, because if it was, because, some people said that Adam and Eve were black. Some people, it's been shown for years they were both white people, stuff like that. So that's where we get all these different color people. But then where did only black people came from? Where did only white people come from? Because when they two come together, they should have mixed kids. It doesn't even make any sense. And then where do certain other color people, where did they come from? All the people of the earth, and all the people of the earth, yes, started from Adam and Eve, and then when they came together with Noah, all those people had died. You remember, only Noah and his family was left, and from the sons of Noah, people of the earth came from. All the people before, with Adam and Eve, all of them died in the flood because they were corrupted of the things that they were doing. And God saved Noah and his family. And then all the people that we have, you see, that's why he said he don't read the Bible. That's why he's saying stuff like that. So all the people of the earth came from his three sons. And then, when they got together trying to build the Tower of Babel, then God scattered them all over the earth. And all different parts of the earth have different seasons and different temperatures and different weather. So your skin color is gonna adapt to wherever you live, in the environment that you're in, and stuff like that. So, like I said, to me, he was like promoting interracial relationships, and try to use the me. I don't understand why people use the Bible to promote. You want to promote your stuff, just do it. Why you have to use the Bible, putting it, and then you already said that is not the Bible. I had to address that. Yeah. So, and this the last thing, what I've noticed, at I've watched and I've attended African American funerals, and they always sing this song. Now, if you know that song, that's just going up yonder, going up yonder. So, a lot of African American funerals that I've watched, they tend to always sing that song, going up yonder. You're going up yonder, and we should always live like we know we going up yonder. We not staying on this earth. We gonna go up yonder. And just like in when you go to Haitian funerals, there are certain songs that is always sung at Haitian funerals. Like I sing this song at African, depending on which church you go to, Father Along. So it's called P devant ouais, Jésus dans gloire. And then it's another song, it's called Serrez-vous. Like, I guess, hold me, Lord, until we meet again. Serrez-vous avec nous au divin rendez-vous. So hold us with you until we meet again. So, with different cultures and different communities and different races, they have certain songs that they sing at funerals. So African Americans funerals that I attended, I saw that they always sung Going Up Yonder. And in the culture that I came from, Haitian culture, we have those two songs that we sing. So to end this podcast, I'm going to have the song play Father Alone, because certain stuff that happened in life, we have no explanation for it. We don't know why this person dies and this person still lives. And this is why God is not human. God will never be human. Can't be human. He cannot be human, because if he was, we would be like, this person, you're going to get killed. You're going to get taken out. This person, we would make all type of crazy decisions. But we don't understand certain stuff. We don't understand why it happens, why God allows it to happen, or what people say. But Father alone. Not when you get to heaven. Certain stuff, Father alone means somewhere along the line. Somewhere along the line, you will understand why, if you seek God to understand. Because sometimes we seek other ways. We stay in ourselves. We depend on our own understanding when our understanding is limited. But certain things that we don't understand, you can go to God. And Father alone. Father alone could be in a month. Father alone could be in a week. Father alone could be in 2-3 years, depending on how, if you are able to receive from God. But Father alone, whatever you don't understand, you will understand it. You don't have to wait until you get to heaven to understand it. But if you seek God for certain things that you're not understanding, something that happened in your life, Father alone, if you seek God, he will reveal it to you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another podcast video. Bye.